She pulled up her car, and in got the big man. Now, police required two deputies accompany.
I'm listening. I'm here. I want to talk to you.
I did not.
He failed in all.
I did not see this part. Hold up. Was he about to, White fired multiple gunshots in the house, killing a dog. The two children who were not injured were rescued by responding deputies after White fled on foot. A little over an hour later, Young said police got a second 911 call from a man in the 19,000 block of Looney Road saying White had gone to his house demanding money. Hunting Casey and Vicky White by that chapter. What's good? How you day going? Morning, evening, night, whenever you're watching this video. Now, this case is actually not that old. I mean, some stuff may still pop up. I really don't think this case is going to get that heavy. Either way it go, though, this is one of those cases that when it happened, I was intrigued because I tell you all many times I have a few friends who are COs, and the stories they tell me basically love in a prison, being from an inmate to a freaking guard. It is not that rare. When you tell me these stories, it's legit like, what the fuck? All right, so look, correct me if I'm wrong, but you got Vicky White, she's like the assistant director or something, right? She's been working there for about 16, 17 years, whatever. She meet Casey White. This dude seems like a super manipulator and a murderer who's an inmate. The two meet, boom, come together. You know how I go from there, right? I was getting too comfortable on camera. I thought I was talking to my partner or something. But either way it go, right? So back to the story. But that is where my questions start to kick in for a couple things we are going to talk about. So it's like they out and about, but when they get caught, whatever, police kind of get them in a ditch. They go out, Casey, from what I'm reading, he ain't got nothing to lose. That's why I'm not understanding this inmate guard relationship. I really don't. All right, but either way it go, so he just get arrested. She end up committing. You know what? The word I want to say, you two. And this is where it really gets into the true crime for me though, because I'm not seeing what Vicky had to gain from doing whatever she was trying to do with Casey. I really don't. The only thing I can see happening, and this is where I mentioned when I was like, it goes to either or for me. Only thing I can actually see happening is, all right, she lost her husband, right? And she was close to retiring. She was working for 17 years. She was working hard to get to where she needed to be in life, and boom, was getting there and then make this sharp left or whatever. So I'm like, the only thing I can see is, all right, her mental's weak now, and then seems like Casey is a super manipulator. Like he was just like, boom, I'm about to go ahead and get in her head at this point. I was like, that is a possibility, but I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of the stuff I came across seems like yeah, I'm sane, I'm good. This sounds cool to me. I don't know. That I was like, oh, are you kidding me? So then this is when it really started to kick down to, okay, what the hell is going on here? I was also thinking like, all right, what is it? Hybristophilia? Oh man, I'm like, is that a thing? Yes, that is a thing. I didn't mean to say. I meant to say, is that a thing for this case? Like, is that also a possibility? Thank you, Google, for auto correcting that for me. All right, yep. So sexual interest in and attraction to those who commit crimes. In some cases, this may be directed towards people in prison for various types of criminal activities. What are we? Because I ain't about to talk to you niggas. Only thing I'm saying is, if I was one of those, it would make sense. I could see me going to get a job at a prison, because it's like, whoa, it's a lot of nuts about to get bust. Because I'm here now. Shit. Either way I go, though, we about to jump into this video. This is true crime, so you may agree, you may disagree, you may just be neutral. Either way I go, people are going to have their opinion. All right, respect that. But check out Hunting Casey and Vicky White by that chapter. My bad for the long intro. True crime just really grabbed me, especially if it's one I'm already like kind of watching my damn self. But yeah, want to check out the original video? Link will be in the description below. But let's go.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this whole video, what we are doing today is looking at a crazy story right out of Alabama. I know, right? This story was just about, everywhere, and now it's here. And it happened right when I was on vacation. So it was a lot of fun to catch up on, and you were seeing the results of that. It's the story of Vicky and Casey. Not married, nor related, though I bet they wish they could have changed that, which part you decide. But they decided to go on a legger together. What happened? Well, let's give it a go.
I knew the cousin joke was coming sooner or later.
In northern Alabama lies Lauderdale County, to set the scene. Not that it really matters though, because the story doesn't stay there for long. And we're talking about a detention center, which is not exactly indicative of the area, but, well. Florence is the county seat, nicknamed Alabama's Renaissance City, and much like its namesake, is along a river, is filled with stunning architecture, deep history, and exquisite cuisine. That seems great. Big thumbs up from you, boy. When I think of Florence, I think of Alabama. Moving on. Located at 635 State Seminary Street is the Lauderdale County Jail. Woo! Besides the Florence Popo Department, and some factories and other L shite. It has a capacity of about 200 inmates. But, more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, it has the capacity for love. And we will get into that. But first, how about we get into them? At the Lauderdale County Jail, right, the Director of Corrections is a lad named Jason Butler, and the Assistant Director is a woman named Vicky White. In 2022, Vicky Sue Davis White was 56 years of age and had been with the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office for 25 years.
And it's crazy how common this is. Even though, I don't know why I just made that, bro. Even though when you hear, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. I don't know, maybe if you like, nah, not really. But I told you I'm cool with a lot of CEOs, and the stories they be telling me, I tell you all the time. Like, this is one that they tell me that's so freaking common up there. It's like, man, I really don't get what you'll get out of it. I really don't.
In 2022, Vicky Sue Davis White was 56 years of age and had been with the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office for 25 years and the Department of Corrections for almost 17. By this stage, though, she was getting ready to hang it all up. Retirement, baby, and she was not keeping that news to herself. She was talking about going to Florida, having a little drink on the beach, all the hits, all the good ones, And she was well liked by everyone. She was described as an exemplary employee. Not anymore. In 2022, she was about to be honored as, this is a mouthful, not anymore. In 2022, she was about to be honored as, this is a mouthful, the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department of Corrections Employee of the Year for a 5th time. Yes, 5 big ones in the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office Department of Corrections. Doesn't get any better than that. She had been married once before. In 2002, she married a lad named Tommy White. They had known each other since they were kids. However, the marriage didn't last too long. In 2006, Vicky divorced him, citing his drug use. They would, however, maintain a close relationship, with Tommy actually developing Parkinson's disease, and Vicky would become his kind of partial caregiver. Vicky would remain close friends with him in the, 15 years after they married. He did pass away, though, in January 2022 from complications arising from Parkinson's, and you gotta kind of wonder, even though they hadn't been married for like 15 years, they still remained close friends. Like, they had known each other since they were kids, so you gotta wonder if her ex-husband passing, who she was cared for, affected her, maybe more than she let on. In the 5 weeks leading up to the 29th of April 2022, Vicky had been living with her mother. Living with her mother because she had sold her home. A large, sprawling house with a barn and all in Lexington, about 30 minutes from Florence. Sold her home for 40% of what it was worth. Less than half.
Yo, oh my gosh, when I first read that. Look, I'm not gonna lie, that's a nice ranch style home, right? And that's some nice land. That, maybe you don't like ranch style homes. I don't know. I love them. That is beautiful to me. But hear me out. When I was reading, I was like, and I was looking into this, I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I could have been a person that like stumbled upon that. Like, hey, I'm selling for 90,000. 90,000? Let me get it. I'm sorry, but that is beautiful to me, dog. Oh man.
She had sold her home, a large, sprawling house with a barn and all, in Lexington, about 30 minutes from Florence. Sold her home for 40% of what it was worth. Less than half. In this economy, and so towards the end of April 2022,
right now
she had been withdrawing a large amount of cash from banks. She got 90 grand for that house. And she had been, in the process of retiring. Well, she actually just handed in her retirement papers on the 28th of April 2022, which she had been yapping away about it for some time. And she had sold almost everything she had. She also had been shopping for men's clothes and had an adult store. Naughty dog. She also bought an AR-15 and a shotgun. And not only that, she bought an orange 2007 Ford Edge under a false name. On the 28th of April, the night before the day of, she had stayed at a Quality Inn hotel in Florence and positioned her new car, the Ford Edge, in the car park of the Florence Square Shopping Centre. And then in the early morning of the 29th of April, she said she locked her keys in her car and called a colleague for a ride to work into the correctional facility the morning of the 29th. So why was she doing all that? Why was she preparing for something? Well, in October 2020, one prisoner was moved to the Lauderdale County Jail just for like a little bit. And his name was Casey White. No relation, by the way, to either Tommy or Vicky, though Casey White and Vicky White did have a special relationship. In 2022, Casey White was 38 years old. Are we sure he's 38? He looks like shit. The criminal history of this almost 7 foot tall, big fucking lumbering gobshite, it goes back a while. And he was a very dangerous man. By 2012, Casey had already spent 3 years in prison for beating up his brother with an axe, the blunt end. But it really kicked off for him in 2015, when he was 31 years of age. On the night...
And the crazy part is, like, being that tall, like, being a large person like that, and the tattoos, like really kind of distinct. The tattoo position, what you had, all that stuff is really distinct. It was like, you could tell. And I was like, when they called him, I was like, oh my gosh, this just really looks like this is you. It was like, it's kind of like that one, well, I think it was the one true crime video we watched where the guy who was walking had the bow leg, whatever, the feet kind of stick out, and he was like kind of tall and hunched over. It was like some features was like where you just really stand out. It's like you might want to cover those. Well, I mean, you can't cover the height, but you know the tattoo. If you saw it when he got caught, the tattoo and everything, you know what I'm talking about, dog.
For him in 2015, when he was 31 years of age. On the night of the 2nd of December 2015, see, he thought it would be a great idea, a real light bulb moment, if he broke into his ex-girlfriend's house, murdered her dog, and then held her and her 2 roommates hostage. He thought it was such a great idea, he followed up on it, which led him to abandoning the hostages, stealing a car, then attempting to hijack a truck, and failing, and then shooting a woman and attempting to steal her car.
What the...
Look, calm down for me, brother. Calm down, all right? Casey, the sheriff will be here in just a minute. Can you put the gun down? Put the gun down and it's no need in all this. The sheriff... I'm listening. I'm here. I want to talk to you.
I did not...
He failed in all...
I did not see this part. Hold up. What?
And failing.
So, wait. Was he just having the gun? Or was he about to, White fired multiple gunshots in the house, killing a dog. The 2 children who were not injured were rescued by responding deputies after White fled on foot. A little over an hour later, Young said police got a second 911 call from a man in the 19,000 block of Looney Road saying White had gone to his house demanding money. When the victim told him he didn't have any, White took his keys and stole his Ford Explorer. White resurfaced about 30 minutes later at the Tennessee Welcome Center along Interstate 65 in Giles County. Did I say that right? My bad. Where he first tried to carjack the male driver. Okay, I thought I was going to describe. Because I don't know if he was aiming at it himself or what.
Calm down for me, brother. Calm down, all right? Casey, the sheriff will be here in just a minute. Can you put the gun down? Put the gun down and it's no need in all this. The sheriff... I'm listening. I'm here. I want to talk to you.
He failed in all of this and was arrested, but he was successful in getting convicted and 75 years. So hence why he was incarcerated. Right, but how did he end up in the Lauderdale County Jail? He was already convicted. Shouldn't he be in prison, not jail? Well, he was back in jail because he was now on trial for murder. See, while in prison, he confessed to a murder. Connie Ridgway was, in 2015, 58 years old, a lovely, sweet lady living in Rogersville, roughly 30 minutes east of Florence. A neighbor, worrying about not having seen her, requested a welfare check, and in the house, the police found her stabbed to death. The murder of Connie Ridgway, it remained unsolved for years, until after, Casey White was convicted for, trying to kill his girlfriend and doing essentially GTA.
Damn near.
Well, he wrote a letter to one of the investigators saying he had killed Connie Ridgway and he'd been paid to do it.
Almost 5 years after Connie Ridgway was killed in her home at Meadowland Apartments in Rogersville, a grand jury indicted Casey Cole White on 2 counts of capital murder for her death.
Till June, it had been a whodunit, and we now know who did it.
He later pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, apparently, and that's why he was in jail in the Lauderdale County Detention Center.
I wonder if everyone's like,
here we go.
All right, there we go. My bad, man. Dog. It's like everybody go for that damn insanity, and I get why. It's because it's like, yo, if I can get the lesser out of this, then hey, why not go for it? It's like, oh my god.
Detention Center. He was going on trial for that murder, and the authorities felt the trial would not end well for him. A trial scheduled for April 2022, but got bumped to June. And just to mention, just like a little tidbit here of something else in Casey White's history, an ex-girlfriend of his blew a hole in her own chest in Casey's mother's house, and it was ruled a suicide. Yeah, if you can believe.
I never. What?
Ex-girlfriend of his blew a hole
Okay.
in her own chest in Casey's mother's house, and it was ruled a suicide. Yeah, if you can believe that. Now people are doubting if it was a suicide. On the 1st of February 2008, Christy Shelton was shot in the chest with a sawn-off shotgun inside Casey's mother's house. And he was there at the time. The circumstances are kind of murky, so not exactly sure what happened. But, yeah. And so, it was during an arraignment for Connie Ridgway's murder in October 2020 that he bumped into Vicky White, Assistant Director at the facility. What sprung from that and why they kind of hit it off, no one's exactly sure. Romantic, it seems so, but they definitely had a special little relationship. Like, for example, he would get more food, more privileges, and he was only in that jail in October 2020 for a short time. He was then moved back to his prison, but they stayed in contact, and then he was back in the Lauderdale County Jail again in April 2022. The 29th of April 2022, that day was a Friday. It was the court's busiest day, a lot of shit going on. That morning, after checking out of the Quality Inn motel at 5:21 a.m., at about 9:30 a.m., Vicky had cleared the detention center of most other deputies with a variety of excuses. And she said that Casey White, he had a mental health evaluation scheduled at the courthouse that morning, and she was a bit of an upset tummy. So after she dropped him off at the courthouse, she was going to go to a doctor's and have a looky-see. She pulled up her car, and in got the big man. Now, police required 2 deputies accompany inmates, but not this time. They left at 9:31 on the dot. And so, as morning faded to afternoon, questions were asked. Where's Vicky? Calls! They went straight to her voicemail. Where's Casey? Shouldn't they be back by now? What time was his mental health evaluation scheduled at? Clackety. Oh shit, he wasn't scheduled to have one that morning. Where'd they go? And so, with a 6-hour head start, together, the cop and the con disappeared.
Like I said earlier, because this is a case, it is still fairly new. I started digging into it probably like a few days ago. But that's why I wanted to watch this, so I can get more and more from more point of views. And with this case being this new, I do feel like I feel like more is gonna keep coming to light. I do, but I honestly feel like it's not gonna be one of them really heavy cases where it's like but what if this, what if that, what is that? I don't feel like it's gonna get too heavy, I should say. But I thought he actually had an appointment, like actually had to go take him. I didn't know he really did not have one. Oh man, that's crazy.
With a 6-hour head start, together the cop and the con disappeared. Vicky, the mastermind, Casey, the master manipulator, if I had to guess. And at first, you know, they just disappeared. No one was sure what exactly happened. Was Vicky...
And that's what I'm thinking, like, I was like, what if he legit was just manipulating the shit? Oh, I'm quite sure he was. But to the point where, like, she's already vulnerable because of what happened with her husband. Like, what if it was like... I'm gonna let it finish. We're gonna talk a little more at the end. But I have questions on both sides. I really do.
And at first, you know, they just disappeared. No one was sure what exactly happened. Was Vicky a hostage? Or was she willing? Pretty soon, it looked like she was pretty willing. So the
really does.
Began. What I will describe now is what the police were able to put together in the following days. It seems that first they drove together to the Florence Square parking lot and got into Vicky's new Ford, dumping the patrol car. Then they made their way out of town.
We know she participated. You know. Now, whether she did that willingly or if she was coerced, threatened somehow to...
I'm not gonna lie to you. I definitely lean more on willingly. Gosh, I can't even talk. I lean more on willingly. I really do. I'm not gonna lie.
Or if she was coerced, threatened somehow to participate in this escape. Not really sure.
Vicky White now charged with permitting or facilitating escape in the first degree. Friday, she left the Lauderdale County Detention Center with inmate Casey White for a courthouse appearance that authorities now say did not exist. The 56-year-old was a 17-year Corrections Department veteran and current jail supervisor who broke department policy transporting Casey White by herself. Authorities say she also claimed she was going to go to the doctor after court, but they found no evidence she went. Friday also set to be her last day after she submitted.
And that's the part. It's like, it's so many things when you watch it. So it's like, okay, wait, no, I get it. Things went left for you with that, with your husband. But it's so many things that you worked hard for to reach that was like right there. You're about to grab where it's like, all right, got it. And then all this went like, it wasn't just like a little turn left. It was like life just went left. Like, what happened, man?
She went. Friday also set to be her last day after she submitted retirement papers the day before.
Those of us who work with Vicky White and have worked with her for years, this is not the Vicky White we know by any stretch of the imagination.
The escape sparking a nationwide manhunt for the pair who are not related. According to the sheriff, surveillance video shows Vicky White's patrol car at 9:49 a.m. Friday, 8 minutes after the two left the jail at an intersection that authorities say was not on the way to the courthouse.
There was not enough time for them to even attempt to try to come to the courthouse and then get out there and be at that red light 8 minutes later.
The two reported missing nearly 6 hours later.
The authorities' next lead, as hundreds of tips came in, sightings, all that, the next real lead came a few days later, when a tow truck driver from Tennessee called saying he had towed the Ford Edge they had escaped in. It had been abandoned the same day they escaped, the 29th. Sometime that night, it's understood the car essentially broke down. This was in Bethesda, Williamson County, Tennessee, talking about a 2-hour drive north, a small, unincorporated community. And so from there, where? See, the authorities were afraid. Casey had said multiple times that if he ever got out of prison, he would go after his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, the one he tried to kill. And so they were like, well, now he's out. Maybe he'll follow up on what he said. She actually went into hiding.
Her message to Vicky White right now, if she's alive, she needs to run. Get away from Casey White right now. And this woman understands exactly why law enforcement describes White as armed and extremely dangerous, warning law officers across the country.
Dog is not blinking.
Because he...
My bad, go back. Boy, these news anchors, they always be scaring me because I'd be like, we ain't about to go into that mode. But man, he's legit not blinking.
Now, if she's alive, she needs to run. Get away from Casey White right now. And this woman understands exactly why law enforcement describes White as armed and extremely dangerous, warning law officers across the country to be very careful because he has nothing to lose.
Casey White is very dangerous. He's dangerous to everybody that is around him. And it's a scary situation.
In prison, he had said if he ever got out, she'd be toast. And he had also said, on the record, he wanted the police to kill him. He wanted to go out in a hail of bullets. And so, when you combine that, and not only with Vicky's police-issue sidearm, the rifle and the shotgun she bought, well, that ain't great. They also had a lot of money. The 90 grand Vicky had just gotten from selling her house.
Hold up.
Had a lot of money. The 90 grand Vicky had just gotten from selling her house. And Vicky was also known to be quite frugal. She was a great little saver, so money, they could be on the lam for a while.
Complete shock. That's how Vicky White's mother, Pat Davis, describes what's been going through her head ever since her daughter disappeared with accused murderer Casey White Friday morning.
Is so
Warrants
weird,
and rewards were issued for both Casey and Vicky. The next sighting will come on the 3rd of May. They had been on the run for 4 days. Now, this was at a car wash in Evansville, Indiana. Wineback Car Wash. So now, even further, this was 3 hours from Bethesda on the far side of Nashville. It seems they abandoned one vehicle there at that car wash, one purchased in Tennessee for $6 grand after the original broke down, and police found that at the car wash. So it seems they abandoned their second car at the car wash and got into a 3rd car, a stolen car. Evansville, Indiana is straight where Vicky and Casey had gone. They were there on the 2nd of May checking into a Motel 41. They paid a homeless guy to do it for them so they wouldn't be spotted. And to get to your motel room, you didn't have to walk through the lobby or anything. You could access it directly from the car park.
Yeah, it's a motel.
And so the staff there never spotted them. And so they stayed there for a week and had planned on staying there for another before what happened on the 9th of May. Alright, a patrol officer with the Evansville Police Department, he ran plates on a car he saw parked at the Motel 41. The plates were from the stolen car the couple were now driving, and it matched. The police started staking out the motel, and just after 6 p.m. they saw the Whites leave the motel room, get into their car, and drive off. Hot pursuit began. This went on till ultimately they were forced off the road by a police truck just on the outskirts of town. It seems that sometime during that whole kind of police chase and right at the end, Vicky called 911. Not exactly too sure why.
Like, what the fuck you call
operator, but you can hear her and Casey talking. Play.
Hey.
911. Please stop. They're going to airbags going to walk and kill us. Hello? John. Airbags are going on. Let's get out and run. Get us back to the hotel.
Hello? Gotta go in there.
That is a big ass dude. Get your big ass down. Man.
She got her finger on the trigger. Yeah. I don't know how to forget it. Take right. Oh, he's right here. Right here, right here. We need to clear some of this shit out of the way so we can get out of here. Okay. Davis, you good? You need anything?
Still got it in her hand. I don't know.
Got the gun in her hand?
Yeah, she's got a gun.
All right, watch it.
You want this window gone? He's still breathing. I see chest rising.
Okay.
Right here, got it.
Oh, got it.
Oh, he's back.
Back up.
Yes, he's still breathing. Would it be better if we try to pull the vehicle back? Would it be safer? Let the fire go.
Man, you know how much it'll suck. Shoot yourself and you just don't go. It was the South Park episode, boy. Dude kept doing it. It was like boom. I said, oh hell no, I thought that would suck, man. The video I saw, it cut off before we got all that, so this is like all new. Like that is crazy. Like the call up until like the part they put him on the car, I saw that, but damn, man.
Yes, he's still breathing. Would it be better if we try to pull the vehicle back? Would it be safer? Let the fire go. Stabilize.
So, their car was driven off the road into a ditch and surrounded by cops. Casey White was dragged out, patted over, and booked. Vicky wasn't,
So what? It was like a cop who did it because it was like a dope like way he did it or something from what I was reading. Like he actually like was like bumping them to make them drift into the grass or something like that. And I be reading a lot of my true crime stuff. So when you read a lot of it, a lot of stuff really seems like over exaggerated sometimes.
So, their car was driven off the road into a ditch and surrounded by cops. Casey White was dragged out, patted over, and booked. Vicky wasn't, she wasn't too keen on facing the music, and so she shot herself in the head in the car. Inside the car were multiple weapons, and about $29,000. That's of the $90,000 they started out with. That didn't last too long. In the motel room, wigs. In fact, it looked like they had stopped there for so long as they thought they were far enough away from Florence and were now plotting their next move.
That's correct, man.
Now, it's obvious why Casey did what he did. It's not so obvious why Vicky did what she did, though. Though when he was arrested, Casey referred to Vicky as his wife. So that'll give you a clue. Though Casey, you know, how into her he really was and how into being free he really was. Which one was it, Casey? You say when? It seems that Casey did actually intend to go out in a hail of bullets. That was the plan for him, to start unloading on the cops and get rid of. But it seems that, you know, when the cops drove their car into the ditch and they crashed.
Yes, that's...
Well, that ended, you know, that dream. Anyway, the whole thing was referred to as a
Make you drop the gun.
romance. I hear the doves already. They did fairly well, to be honest. I mean, they should have left Evansville as soon as they abandoned the car, but still, it's not bad for two people whose faces were everywhere. They, well, Vicky had been plotting it for a while, selling all her stuff. A few days before, she'd even taken Casey out once again alone for 40 minutes. A trial run, apparently.
Vicky White took steps on Tuesday before the successful escape on Friday.
I didn't know the day before she took him out for a little bit just to show you, like, let me show you this little freedom we about to get, nigga. I know she gave me like a little sample. Gave me a little sample. Okay. I know that part neither.
I took steps on Tuesday before the successful escape on Friday to try a dry run of this
appetizer.
And allegedly the theory the police were going off was that because Casey was so tall, 6'9", you know, he'd get spotted immediately.
Didn't I say that? Well, I mean, it's obvious, but okay, stop.
Tall, 6'9", you know, he'd get spotted immediately. Big guy. So the theory they were going off was that he would be in a wheelchair while Vicky would push him, you know, in a wheelchair, and she'd be dressed with a wig to make her look like an old woman. So Casey would be sitting down so he wouldn't be so tall, and he was also dressed as a woman. I mean, that would be funny if it wasn't so. Actually, no, it's still pretty funny. Casey was charged with escape in the 1st degree and won't be escaping again. Vicky, it's sad she didn't see any other way out. And I've had to guess Casey was pretty much just using her to try and make a run for it. He seems like the manipulative sort. That's what everybody said about him, as a very dangerous individual. Vicky, maybe, you know, a lonely woman at this stage, probably fell for this manipulator, maybe easily enough.
That's what I was thinking too.
she must have, to go against everything she worked for and stood for. Described as an exemplary employee her entire life. It's sad it ended in such a way. So Casey, charged with escape in the first degree. I'm sure there will probably be other charges related to this, but he still has the upcoming murder trial that he has to stand for, which, by the way, could end up with, you know, death. Try flirting with lethal injection, bucko. Well, that's the story of how Vicky and Casey White went on the run and ran out of time.
What the fudge, man?
Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to do so and be here with this guy back with me. Here, listen, what else? Oh, hope you enjoyed the video on the art of